Hello. It's been in the news today on the BBC News this morning about the plight of music shops and why are they so important? Well, they really are. They really are. And they're an important part of the high street and they really need to be protected and used because they were talking about the fact that lots of people are moving online to buy musical equipment and to buy musical instruments. And I'm just going to speak from my experience because obviously I teach and maybe that's not obvious, but I do teach. And there have been instances where people have turned up with musical instruments that have just not been appropriate and they have bought them online. So, for example, I taught somebody who played flute and they were a beginner, and the parents decided that they were going to buy the child a purple flute. Now, it's very pretty, it looked fantastic. They bought it online. It lasted 3 weeks and then it fell to pieces. And because the parents had spent so much money on this instrument, at that point, the child could no longer have lessons because they didn't have an instrument to learn on. And that was such a sad situation because the school at that point didn't have the facilities to be able to offer them a musical instrument as a replacement because they'd reallocated the instrument that the child had been using previously when the parents had bought this other flute. So there's a perfect example of you just do not know what you're going to get. Many moons ago, my hometown, Nuneaton, had two music shops and they were both brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The last one to close was Abbey Music, and I could never sort of speak highly enough of Abbey Music. They were an absolutely fantastic shop. It meant that I could go in and I could try musical equipment before I purchased it. I bought my stage piano from them. They advised on what stand might be better than the usual cross stand for it to stand on. They were absolutely fantastic. They sold me my Clavinova that I still have 20 years later at home that works brilliantly. They were able to give me detailed information and talk me through what would work and what would be good. So why do we need music shops on the high street? We need their expertise. We need their knowledge. We need the opportunity to try these things, because if you just buy it online, you don't know what you're going to get. We need these music shops, and it is so important that we don't lose another shop off the high street, particularly as there are so few of them around now. In Nuneaton, if you need a music shop, you have to travel miles. Probably, I don't know, I can think of one in Lichfield and I can think of one in Birmingham, but we're talking miles away. It's not just up the road. It's not within a 5-mile radius. You're talking distance to actually get to a music shop, a real effort. And yet Nuneaton had two. And so don't lose your shops. Don't lose your music shops. They are so, so important and a vital part of the music community.